Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday to you all. This is Darnell Self. This is another episode of Self Talk Sunday. The things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determine what we attract for ourselves. This lesson comes from a third-degree burn in the eighth grade. Third-degree burn in the eighth grade. My left hand, which you can still see if you look up closely, but my skin is healed, thank God. But this lesson I learned from this burn. I'll tell you the story first. So eighth grade, I took a class called Home Economics. In the seventh grade, I used to walk past this class all the time, and it smelled so good. I thought, man, I'm going to take that class next year, which I did. Eighth grade, home ec. So we learned how to cook donuts in this particular class. I was excited, cooked the donuts successfully in class. So I get home, and I call my mom. She's at work. I'm at home by myself. I'm the only child. And I said, Mom, I learned how to cook these donuts in school. Do you mind if I cook them at home? She's like, yeah, just be careful. Turn off the stove when you finish. Give me all the motherly lessons. So I got it. So I heat up this oil, cook the donuts, and was successful. So afterwards, I'm pouring the grease out. See, back the way I grew up, you didn't just throw away grease after you cook. Right? Unless it was fish grease. But other than that, you save that grease for the next time you're going to cook. You used to put it in a little pan, a little drainer at the top. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I'm doing that, but the pot hole had a little hole in it. So the pot was getting hot in my hand. So I threw the pot towards the sink, thinking I can just throw the pot in the sink. Well, not realizing physics, right? The pot is heavier than the grease. So the pot kept moving forward, but the grease came back and landed on my hand and my skin disappeared. Like that. Looked at my hand, no skin. Now I know what they mean when they used to say, I'm going to beat you to the white meat show. I understood because it was, my skin was gone. It's all white meat. So I'm looking like, oh my gosh. So I put my hand under the faucet, put water on it, which is not a good idea. Then I run to my neighbor's house. I'm knocking on the door with my right hand because my left hand, my skin is all gone. This is how bad it was. A neighbor who's a nurse, she opened the door. She screams, right? She's a nurse. So that's how bad it was. And so they rushed me to the hospital. Long story short, I don't remember much of any of that. Because by the time I came to, my mother was there standing over me, and they had my hand all wrapped up. So point of the story, here's a lesson that I got. Self-Talk Sunday, folks. The doctor said, we're going to give you a solution where you've got to exercise your hand twice a day in this solution. And if you do not, as the skin grows, and you don't do this exercise in this solution, you would try to bend your hand or close your hand and the skin will break, may cause an infection. We may have to amputate your hand. I thought, I'm in the eighth grade, right? I'm like, I don't want that to happen. So he's like, this is what you have to follow these instructions carefully. Your mom is listening, but you're going to have to do this. And I remember times my friends are like, you coming out to play football, coming out to ride your bike? And I had to, and I don't know how long, but it was like a while you had to do this exercise, whatever it was. I had to make a decision that if I want it now more than what I wanted most was priority. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. Now versus most. Because there's so many times you're like, man, I want the shoes now. I want the vacation now. But we have to compare that to what we want most. And when I was doing the exercise, I had to decide whether I wanted to make sure that I had my hand later on, what I wanted most, took priority of what I wanted now. What I wanted now at that time was to go out and play with my friends, hang out with my friends, and not do that, right? Like, I can do it later. But then I had to decide what I wanted most. And this is what I see every day with folks that I lead and coach and help, right? And you may see it too in your own life. I see it in my life. These decisions come up, and I have to decide, do I want this now or want this most? I want to take this vacation now, or should I put this money into an investment where I can take vacations for the rest of my life, wherever I want it to go? This is what we have to decide, guys. Do I want it now or do I want it most? And sometimes we're like, I'm just going to watch TV. I'm just going to, and we're passing time with things, whether it be scrolling through social media, and what we want most is probably where we should be investing our time, right? The things that are going to help us to get to what we want most. If you want a legacy most, right? If you want to be able to contribute more, give back more, then sometimes we have to give up what we want now. And I'm not saying that's all the time, but sometimes. So I'm just going to ask you that you consider the next time something comes up, is this what I want now, or is this contributing to what I want most? This has been another Self-Talk Sunday, guys. Remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determine what we attract for ourselves. And I thank God that I decided plenty of times, what I wanted most was priority over what I wanted now, because it's given me a life today where I can enjoy some of the things that back in the day I wanted most. I hope that that's your situation as well. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a great week.